What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. Let me pop out here real quick. Got this big old truck coming. I ain't trying to get ran over. Anyway, many men question the success of other men with women for one simple reason. They question the success of it. Like, you can tell them some stories and stuff and they question it. And it's for one simple reason. And you know, I ain't gonna belabor the point. It ain't happened to them. Because it hasn't happened to them, they question it with another man. You know? They feel like some shit ain't happened to them, it ain't happened with another one. I mean, there's many stories of it. Like, one of my mentors, Master Yamache Morris, he talked about a couple times in his in a few of his books about an incident. He shared the same story. You know, it was a group of select and non-select men together. They were talking, and select men started telling some stories, and the non-select men didn't believe them. So they brought some women there and started saying, you know, the women kind of cooperated and said, yeah, we do stuff like that. See, one of the things, and I'm talking about that because you get men who question, and when you give them some game and stuff, when I give them some game, or when some other guys give them some game, they question it. They question it and stuff, you know? But see, all that tells me it ain't happened to them, because like in my comments, you get some guys who question, but then you get some guys who corroborate the stories or whatever I say because it's happened to them. They familiar with it. See, understand something. When I'm sharing anything, it's three levels to what I share. One, to what I directly experienced. So it's never theory. Some dudes be like, well, that's a theory. No, it's a theory for you, motherfucker. But no, it's either A, happened with me. B, I was an eyewitness to it. It ain't something somebody told me. Is an eyewitness. That's the second thing. The third thing is they saying something that matches the first two. So it's something, if they say something, say, oh yeah, that happened to me one time, or I saw it one time, you know? But you got a lot of guys, I can just tell from their comments, they haven't experienced it. You got a lot of guys, they haven't experienced. Like, if a guy, like I know a guy, and he said, you know, he talked about, you know, some stuff he did with women he had just met. Now, some other guys, they'll question that because it hasn't happened to them. But I'm like, you know, he told me, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And I didn't question it because I was like, okay, there's some stuff I did with some women, sexual, that I had just met real quick. Or somebody, I watched it happen. I watched some stuff happen. And, you know, one of the problems out here is when you get some guys, they trying to give you some game, they trying to tell you something. You get some guys who get in the comments, or they'll try to say that ain't happened. No, it ain't happening for you, motherfucker. You know? You know, you haven't had the women chase you down or anything. It hasn't happened, and you know they fighting against it. But that's all the guy's saying. No, it ain't happened for you. If you smart, you'll just listen. Because understand something. There's a definite select and non-select, and some guys they just going to get they going to get some attention. They going to get some stuff maybe another man ain't going to get. It's just a way of life. It's just a way of life. Some guys they're gonna be able to get with a woman right away for whatever reason. You know, the situation or where they at, whatever. You know, some guys gonna do that. Some guys gonna have that situation where they had a threesome. Like I know another guy, and well, this guy got multiple women. This guy he got a crew of wives. You know, but he said some other guy questioned him getting with two wives or two women at the same time. I'm shooting. Now, that's something I can say, nah, I've had that happen. And I've known some people who were involved in those type of relationships, but everybody ain't. Because one of the biggest problems out here is there's a lot of dudes, shit hasn't happened for them, so they think it's impossible. It don't happen for everybody. Like when I talk about how women want sex out here, they want sex. Now you get some guys, they'll say, no, they don't want it. No, they don't want it with you, motherfucker. They don't want it with you. You questioning it. But if you're around some women and they open, there's some guys they want to have sex with right away. You know? Women that do that. See, one thing with women, like you get a lot of guys complaining about women doing this and that, but the reality is, women, the same woman, she can treat two different men two different ways. One she can be mean to. She ain't giving up nothing. She ain't having sex with him. She gonna be mean to him. Wouldn't cook him a hot dog. Wouldn't do anything for him. That's that one man. But then the next man, she'll do everything for. She will do everything for. And that's just the reality. That's just the reality out here. You know? Because that's select, non-select, 20, 80%, alpha, beta. It'd be nice to say, oh yeah, that's it. Because see, one of the things, especially when I get some commenters who doubt something I'm saying, all they really saying is them. They don't know what happened, and then they trying to project that onto everybody else. It's like, no, that ain't happened for you. But there's some other dudes, and I've said that, even for a lot of stuff I talk about, I get a lot of people who corroborate. Like I said, corroborated, because this happened for them. I wouldn't be to the point I am now if I didn't. There's somebody. That's why I say this is the channel for wolves. This is the channel for wolves. Or they understand, or these shit. I got quite a few. Got a few of the guys who really follow me. Shoot, they just following that for game. They really not following for game or anything. They following just because they experiencing some stuff other guys haven't. Like I said about my book, Nice Guys and Players, right? Nice Guys and Players, the biggest buyers of it at first were players. Nice guys weren't buying it. They couldn't relate to it. Shoot, even may rest in peace, Alan Roger Curry, he had bought a book. He had bought a book. You know how much of a player he was. Shit. He bought a book and reached out to me. And I had helped him get out mode 1. And I didn't realize it at the time. Shit. I should have been asking him some stuff. Shit. But they understood it. They could relate to it. See, a lot of guys can't relate to what's going on out here. Instead of just being humble and realizing, maybe they should need to sit back and listen. Or they need to really think about just because what I would say is this, right? Apply the information. Apply the information. Like there was somebody on my Patreon, because I had a post, a long time post about seduction, and dude was like, and I already knew, look, I ain't gonna call the dude's name, and I ain't trying to be mean or anything, but he had limited experience, because he was like, hey, can we get more posts like this? I was like, well, all you gotta do is just listen to everything else I'm talking about. That'll get you there. Apply everything else. Because everything I'm talking about gets you the same thing. Everything I'm talking about. If you're trying to seduce a woman, shit, there's some other stuff you need to do. There ain't no tricks to it or anything. If he hears it, I ain't call his name, but he need to actually look at the stuff. Because somebody else will see the stuff and be like, oh yeah, that's it. And indeed, and I'll just speak for myself, there's been plenty of times when people have taken like showed my videos to guys they knew to be players and whatever, and they said, "Oh yeah, I showed they be like, yeah, I showed your stuff to some guys I knew to be players, and they agreed. They agreed." And I said that with my stuff. I said, "Shit, go out there, find out, apply the information, see if it works for you." And like I said, I've yet to have anybody come back and say, "Oh, this didn't work." I've yet to have that. But see, you get some guys, they trying some stuff, or they think they know some stuff, and I was like, they don't know anything. They don't know anything. Or, something else that I noticed, they don't listen to the whole video. Like I had somebody say something about the whole choice thing, right? And they were like, "Well, the man got to choose him back." And I said that in the video. I said, that's a woman, she'll make the choice, but a man has to accept the choice. I said that in my book, Nice Guys and Players. I ain't say one time that, just because a woman chooses you, you have to take her. That's just what it is. And see, and let me talk just go on a tangent about that real quick. It gets deep, because women be looking at a whole lot of shit on a man. Trust me, you can tell a whole lot about a woman and what she about by the men that she wants to get with. If you ever want to know a woman's character, anything, just ask her who she find attractive. That'll tell you everything. Seriously. We don't give a fuck. As long as she got a fat ass, we just be on her. Just always remember that. And everything. And players, Macks, Pimps, they already know that shit. They already know that shit. And see, that's something else too. I had a lot of players and Macks look at my shit and they were like, yeah. They were like, yeah. And that's anybody really. But see, you got a lot of guys. I'm going to tell you what, a lot of guys out there want to be on some fantasy shit. They want some like movie shit. They want some Pretty Woman shit. They want some woman just to fall in love with them and shit. They want some Captain Ho, Saver Ho shit. Nah. Because that's one thing, when if you deal with female nature and really understand it, you know how to deal with different women, who they going to deal with. You understand which women going to show you some love. It's a lot of stuff to it. But see, you got to listen to the guys who are successful. And it ain't necessarily me. You don't know me. That's why I say go out and like try my stuff. But you should, unfortunately, men who are successful with women and men who are unsuccessful, it's rare they're in the same space. They really don't hang out, unless they happen to be cousins or something like that. They have some relatives. Because that's what the important thing is. It's like, sometimes you learn the most by being around somebody who's successful. You learn the most because you can see it, you witness it. Like I said, even everything I talk about, if I didn't experience it personally, I witnessed it. I witnessed it. I witnessed it and everything. Even women cheating and everything. Because once you eyewitness something, it's like, oh, okay, you can accept that. But see, a lot of guys challenge it because really it fucks with their belief system. They'll challenge something. It's like some dude try to tell them, say, "Oh, that ain't happened." Say, no, ain't happening yet. And they ain't saying the guy ain't lying or bullshitting or anything like that, but you don't know for sure. Because we're your witness to what happened. We're your witness to it. If you weren't a witness to it, you really don't know. You're not out there. And see, you get out there, shoot, you see a lot of shit, really. The sun's always in this spot. Yeah, you gotta get out there. You gotta like engage and stuff. And you gotta experience stuff yourself. I always say that. I say, shit, the best way you can do something is you gotta go out and experience it. You know, I tell guys, you got to go outside. You know, I had one guy get mad at me and stuff. Comment, say, how come you assume we don't go outside? Because, you know, motherfucker, if you did and you were out, you would learn the game. Because that's the only way you can learn it. You gotta go out. Even with everything, I'm giving y'all my perspective, but you gotta go out and see what works for you. Like I talk about body game. You gotta see which body type works for you. That's why you notice I used to say just, you know, be muscular, but I've changed that. I just say have your best body. Muscles work, but, you know, some women, they'll look at a muscular guy and don't want to get with him. You got to see what works for you, because there's a lot to it. There's a lot to the game, you know. Your social class, your culture. There is so much out there. You got to find out, but the only way you're going to find out, you get out there. But don't, you know, and if somebody trying to tell you what they did, okay, that's cool. And you might can learn something, or you can see it, and that is better if, like, I'm gonna tell you what. One of the things I've said before, and I'll say it right now. If a dude is having trouble with the ladies, the best lesson for him is to be around, somehow either work with a guy getting the women, or being around them, something he can watch. And not in terms of, believe it or not, it's not in terms of trying to imitate them. That's the worst thing. But just knowing what's possible. Just knowing what's possible and shit. You know? That's the thing. You want to learn what's possible to do and everything. Because you say, okay, if this dude right there, plus, if you hanging around somebody, you got some similarities anyway. You got some similarities. If you're hanging around a group of players, you got some similarities. They can tell you some stuff. You can learn some stuff. You know? Like anybody who got my book, Nice Guys and Players, I mentioned Jim. And that's not his actual name. And it's kind of funny because he said, he looked at the book and he was like, man, you got everybody thinking I'm a drunk. That's the worst person to take advice from. And I was like, well, you can't hold your liquor. Right? Yeah, I remember one time he was drunk as shit. I just propped him up against his door and ran. Yeah, his mom was cursing my ass out. But anyway, right? You know, when you see stuff, like I witnessed a lot of stuff with him. Like you see women sending him, you reading the letters women sending him. Seeing women camped out in front of his house. Like fighting for him and shit. You know? Crying over him, everything. It was like, and you see that with a couple people. It's like, oh, okay. You start seeing some shit. You start seeing a woman's nature. Like it might not be happening to you, but you witnessing it. You directly witness it happening for somebody else. You be like, oh, okay, let me see, okay. All right, and then once you know it's possible, then you can start thinking that could be you. Now, if you start thinking, nah, I ain't gonna be you or something, and you can't do the same thing, well, you got bigger issues anyway. I'll just say that. You got bigger issues anyway, so there ain't something you can worry about or really you need to deal with some personal self-esteem issues there. But when you're around some players and stuff, because I've been around, like I said, everything I talk about, I either experience directly, like this happened to me or something, or I witnessed it. And I witnessed a lot of players. It's like there's some stuff that might not have happened for me, but I sat there and watched some other dudes this happen for. And then you start saying, oh, okay. Like different levels of game and everything. There's one dude, he used to call him Stealth. Because he was like quiet. He even stuttered a little bit. He stayed in some women. There was one woman so fine, man. Oh my God, she was so fine. I was like, well, just tell me what happened. He refused to. All I knew is he hit it. That's all I knew. And everything. So it's like, if you're around that, then you know what's possible, because then you see what's possible. When you see some women fighting over dudes, like literally fighting, you sitting there watching a woman about to fight another woman over a man a couple times, and you're like, oh, okay, all right. Because that's the best way. You can learn some shit. You're like, okay, I see what y'all about to do. So, that's the thing. But see, don't dismiss something. See, the main thing, don't dismiss something. If it ain't happened for you, it just ain't happened for you. Don't say it don't happen, because that's really what a lot of guys, will say. That's really what they're saying. They say, oh, that don't happen. No, it don't happen for you. Or a woman trying to get your baby or something, talking about, nah, just go ahead, take off that condom. I don't need it. Oh, I'm on birth control. Well, dude who's a virgin, they have never experienced that. And if it ain't happened for him, but it's happened for plenty of dudes. There's plenty of dudes paying some child support because of that. There's plenty of dudes paying some child support or got some kids because of that. Shit happens. Like I said, and I always say, and shoot, I even told my co-parent this. I say, yeah, we got 2 sons, but there's still one woman out there unaccounted for. There's still one woman out there unaccounted for. I don't know. She could have she would have a son or a daughter in their 20s now if she had a child with. Because I was a little reckless when I was younger. But you see that shit. You see some reckless ass shit. You have the experience. You experience it. You see, if you really want to know the game, you gotta get out there and play it yourself. That's the thing. But don't deny something just because you haven't experienced. You just haven't experienced it. So I want you to think about that too. There's a lot of guys miss out on some shit, or they want to argue with somebody. But if you ask them, or take the time to say, have you experienced that? Then how you know what this person is saying? Because unless you right there, no matter what somebody say, you can't say it unless you're around that person 24/7. You don't know what they went through or what they got going on. So that's something to think about. Anyway, y'all, just something for today. I'm going to get something. Oh, man. Get a few. I don't even know what I'm getting. Anyway, y'all. Y'all have a good day and everything. Y'all know I don't do anything on weekends. But really think about that. Just because you haven't. Seriously, I want y'all to really think about that. Just because you haven't gone through something don't mean somebody else has. It ain't meaning you don't have to automatically believe it. Just take it in. I say it like this: take it in your head until you can see it for yourself. Because ultimately, that's the ultimate way you gotta learn game. Don't worry about what somebody else doing or anything like that. Or even seeing somebody else with a woman in public. You gotta look at actions. That takes a while though, man. Cause I can read a woman and tell how she dealing with a man. I can read a woman, but that's from experience. And all you can do to get experience is get out there. You gotta get out there and do some shit. So anyway, That's all I have. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.